In 2023, the month of March has received excess rainfall in comparison to the last 3 to 4 years, and this excess rainfall is causing harm to the Rabi crops and especially to the wheat crop. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be discussing about how excess rain is affecting the crops in India, especially the Rabi crops and in particular the wheat crop. So let us first look at the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at the news, then the lower wheat production in last few years, then how 2022-23 is different from the earlier years, and then how the rain will affect the wheat yields. In the end, Rabi crops, and in the end the prelims MCQ. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 3, that is agriculture, economy, and little bit the geography aspect is also included in it. From exam perspective, important from both prelims and mains, especially from the mains perspective, because agriculture part has a lot of relevance in paper 3 plus the essay aspect also, and you need to know about the Rabi crops has already been asked by the exam, and then about the wheat production. So let's get started, and the news has been taken from the Indian Express, and it says how excess rains in March could affect the wheat crop in India. As we all know that this year in the month of March, excess rainfall has happened because of the western disturbance. So the reason behind why the rainfall which was supposed to happen in the month of January and February has delayed and is happening in the month of March and has already happened in the later month of March, and the reason behind it is the western disturbance, the winds which were flowing or the jet streams which were flowing from the Mediterranean Sea to the from west direction to the east direction, and this western disturbance is responsible for causing the rainfall in northern India, and this rainfall in the month of March is what is harming the wheat crop or the Rabi crops. So what has happened is the year 2021-22 and 2022-23, they have both the years have seen unusual Rabi cropping seasons. See, there are 2 years which we are talking about, that is first is the year of 2021-22 and then second from the year 2022 to 23. So both these years have seen 2 different types of March climate or weather. So both these years have unusual Rabi cropping seasons in terms of weather and yield loss, especially in wheat crop. So weather has been different in both the years in the month of March, and yield loss has also been different. Then the patterns of rainfall and temperature variation and the damage to the standing crop as a result. So when there is unusual rainfall and also unusual hot weather, then who's the one who is suffering? So it is the crops which are suffering, because crops are neither very adapted towards the excess rainfall nor they are adapted towards the extreme heat. So and have been different in the 2 seasons. So first we'll be looking at what has happened to the wheat crops, then about what is happening in the month of March in this year and the year 2021-22, and how both the years have been different from each other. Then the 2021-22 season was marked by too much rain, and the country received rainfall that was way above the normal average in every month from September 2021 to January 2022. While on the other hand, if we look at the year which was known for the hottest ever March in terms of average maximum temperature. So the year 2021 and 22 was very hot, while this year the month of March has been considered to be very rainy. The rainfall has been in excess this year. Now let's talk about the lower wheat production. What has happened, and last year also in the year 2021-2022 also what has happened and what is the difference. So unusual heat of March 2022 led to lower wheat production, which saw a spike in temperature. So if we are saying that it was summers started early and then there was rise in temperature. So when the temperature rises, what happens? Then there is hotness around. So the spike in temperature happened during the grain formation and filling stage, and kernels were accumulating starch and protein at that point of time. So during that time, the wheat was in a stage where it was actually developing to its full potential, but because there was too much of temperature, the hotness of that period of the March in last year was way too much that the wheat could not actually accumulate itself according to it. Then according to the Agriculture Ministry, in the year 2022, wheat output was at 107.74 million tons, and it was a marginal decline of 1.7%. So if we see the decline in terms of the percentage, then we are not able to see a huge decline, but the government's own procurement fell to 18.79 million ton as against 43.34 million ton in the previous marketing season. So this is where we was able to see a major decline, and the wholesale wheat inflation crossed around 20% year on year by December in the year 2022. So the wheat inflation reached to a very high level of 20%, and government's own procurement also went down to a very large extent. So this is how the year 2022 March, which was considered to be very hot as compared to its previous years, this is how the wheat production was hampered. Now let's talk about that how the year 2022-23 was different. It means how this March was different from the last year's March. So the year 2021-22 was largely wet, and then 22-23 was quite the opposite. And winter was exceptionally dry, with November 2022 to February 2023 registering deficient rainfall. So last year it was that the rainfall was not that much, but now this year 2023 March we have seen an excess rainfall, and especially in the second half of the March 2023. So February 2023 not only recorded 68.3 degree below normal rain, it was also the hottest ever February in terms of the average maximum temperature. So see why the rainfall in the month of March is considered to be different. See, first what happened was January 2023 there was very less rainfall. Then came February 2023, there was no rainfall, and the rainfall which was supposed to happen in these 2 months, what happened was the starting of March also there was no signs of rainfall, but the moment the March second half was about to appear, or you can say after the 10th of March, suddenly the temperature went down and rainfall started to happen. So the later stages of March there was very high rainfall, and this high rainfall which happened not only once, which happened around thrice or 4 times, this is what caused harm to the rabi crops and in particular to the wheat crop, and I'll tell you how also. Then according to the IMD, which is Indian Meteorological Department, it says that both maximum and minimum temperatures for March 2023 to be above normal over most parts of the country. So even if it was high, then it was above normal, and even if it was low, it was above normal, and especially in the northern part of the country. So now look at this map. This says that all India rainfall deviation, which talks about in percentage, and the difference is this red portion, the red graph or bars you will be seeing is year 2021-22, and the blue bars is the year 2022-23. So if you will see the September month, if you will see that the rainfall in the month of September 2022, if you will see, then this is the year 2021 had more rainfall than the year 2022-23. Then you will see that in October rainfall happened more in the year 2022-23. But then look at the graph now, because this is where actually you will know that the difference happened where. So if you will see the month of November, this is, look at this graph, in the year 2022-23 there was no rain, it went to negative. Then in December also there was no rain or rain deficit of rainfall, negative. Then it came in the year January, deficit rainfall. February, very huge, very high deficit of rainfall. And then after 5 months of deficit rainfall, then in the month of March, you will be able to see a upward trend, or you will be able to see that yes, the rainfall is happening in the month of March, because for 5 long months there was no rainfall, there was deficit of rainfall, and then suddenly you will see a spike in the month of March. And that is why it is also said that this rainfall, the rainfall which is happening in the month of March, is considered to be unusual. Now let's talk about that rain affect wheat yields. What happens? So the wheat is sensitive to both heat stress and rain. So the wheat does not want any kind of extreme things, either extreme heat or extreme rainfall or thunderstorms. Both are harmful for the production of wheat, especially during the terminal grain filling and ripening period. They want a very balanced temperature. Then more the weight accumulated from grain filling, the more vulnerable is the crop to rain. So what happened is, during the time of grain filling, when flowering tends to happen, what happens is that the wheat becomes very heavy. So what happens if at that point of time the rain takes place? So what happens was, imagine this is the crop. So what happens is, already during the grain filling, the crop becomes very heavy. And if rain happens, then this rain also puts a lot of pressure on the wheat, and the crop tends to come down because of the weight. So what happens is that it is accompanied by high velocity winds, because when rain comes, wind comes, then this makes the stems prone to lodging or bending and even falling flat on the ground. And when, because of the heavy weight or winds or thunderstorm, they fall flat on the ground, that is when the crops are destroyed, or they do not remain useful for the farmers. Now let's talk about the Rabi crops. I've written very general points which you need to know. So Rabi crops are sown around the time of October, that is in the time of winters, and the harvest period of Rabi crops is usually summer, that is April to May. And few of the examples of Rabi crops are wheat, gram, peas, barley, etc. Rice is not a Rabi crop, you should be able to know, because many a times this is where you will be tricked, because many a times people also tend to mark rice as a Rabi crop. Then warm climate is required for seed germination and cold climate for the growth of the crops. So Rabi crop sowing time is October, harvesting time is summer, that is April to May. Before moving towards the prelims MCQ, Drishti IAS is coming up with PT Sprint 2023, which has been live now. You can go on the app or the Drishti IAS website also to look for more information and enroll yourself. You will be able to get full length tests, sectional tests, and then one GS2, that is CSET also you will get, and then free full length test of GS1 also what you will get. So if you are appearing for this year's examination and the prelims is not very far away, then you can take part in the PT Sprint 2023, which will help you improve your preparation. In the end, it's time for the prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. Consider the following statements regarding Rabi crops. These crops are sown at the beginning of the season, around end May to early June. Then they are harvested post the season rains beginning October. Third is rice is an example of it. You have to tell about the correct statements, and the codes are 3 only, 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3, or none of the above. So try to solve the question. I think you will be able to do this one. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.